everybody, and welcome to The Void, a show dedicated to filling the void between being an employee and becoming self-employed. Most people refer to starting your own company as taking the leap, as if you're blindly jumping off a cliff and into the unknown. This show is here to help you understand that it doesn't have to be that way. As always, if you like what you're hearing on the show, please do us a favor and help share the show with somebody who might also be wanting to start their own company. We saw an opportunity to help others understand that self-employment is well within your reach, and just as our businesses have grown organically and by word of mouth, we want this show to grow the same way. For that to happen, it takes two things. One is we have to keep giving you guys really, really good content, and the other thing is you have to help share our valuable message. So, as we're listening to this show, if there's something in this show that sparks interest or you want to share with a friend of yours, tap the share button on whatever platform you're listening on and send it to a friend of yours. That would really, really help us out. I'm your host, Mitch Smedley, and with me as always is David Hilton.
Mitch Smedley.
David Hilton.
What's up, man?
Well, we are...
Nothing? Not absolutely nothing? Or are you just tired from the last show? We just recorded a back-to-back. Mitch looks a little sleepy.
No, I'm not sleepy.
Not sleepy. Are you fired up?
I still got 2.5 hours to be awake, so... 10:30 every night.
Like he's a kid. Like, I got to go to bed by 9:30. I just have to do it.
Yep.
No. My mom's coming over and make you go to bed at
My mom's coming over.
That'd be hilarious if Terry came over here and was like, Mitch,
yeah,
it's time for bed.
It's time for bed.
Oh, my God.
Put your jammies on.
Put your jammies on. You're not a naked sleeper? I've always pictured you as probably a naked sleeper.
You know, it's mixed bags. Sometimes it's boxers, but you know, every once in a while I get hot.
Yeah.
And, you know, like the first step when you get hot is you stick a foot out. Right?
Yeah. I stick a foot out and then I use my foot to fold the blanket back so that one leg is all the way out.
Yep.
That's what I do.
You stick a foot out, and if that doesn't cool you off, next thing is the boxers. They come off. So,
you know, the problem with you get older though is like stuff's a little longer, and so like you can't. Like I'm rolling around, you know, and I'm smashing
stuff. You need a jock strap to sleep naked.
I can't, well, then you're not naked. That defeats the whole purpose of sleeping naked.
Well, and the other key, too, is if you're sticking a foot out, you can't hang it off the edge of the bed.
No.
Because then the monster under the bed gets it.
Yeah, and I can't do that anymore. I got a daughter. She's 9. And, you know, I'm always worried, like, if something happens, I got to get up and run outside or, you know.
Yep.
I don't want to be that guy.
Well.
You're like, oh, there's the loser dad that ran out. No, I don't want to be that guy.
So, funny story.
Uh-oh.
You know, this happens to all parents, I think, but the wife and I are in the middle of a nice evening, right? And I look over, and my son is standing right next to the bed staring at us. And I'm like, what? And he's like 6, right? So this is a while ago.
Dude, lock the door, bro.
I know. Well, yeah. So sometimes the moment gets you and you forget your process. So anyway,
I've never heard this. This is hilarious.
So anyway, I like freeze, and I like shove my wife out of bed. Like I cover myself up with the covers, and I just push my wife out of bed.
Let me ask you this: do you remember what was your initial thought? Like your immediate thought.
Fuck.
That's it.
Yeah. Like damn
Nothing
it.
more advanced than that. Just
he probably doesn't know what's going on. He probably thinks I'm choking mom or something like. You never know, right? So anyway, I shove her out of bed, and I'm like, "You deal with this." And so she comes back, and now
you have a son. It's your job.
Well, hold on. She's like, "Why did you make me?" Like she goes and gets him back to bed and everything else. She comes back in. She's like, "Why did you make me do that?" I'm like, "You at least look halfway normal right now." He's going to have a million questions if he sees me get out of bed at this moment.
Like his eyes are just like...
And I mean, he's 6, so he's right at wiener level. So it's just...
If Mitch didn't say at the beginning, I really don't listen to what he said. This is a Beyond the Void episode where we just kind of talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
This is true.
I didn't know that this is where this show is going to go.
Yeah. So while we're on the subject,
Mitch's kid is at wiener level. I don't understand.
we have several types of shows for this show.
Oh my god!
According to the intro,
this
is not a business topic.
Was this your oldest son?
Yes, this is
okay. So this is early.
Yeah.
Were you guys even living
this
here
was
yet?
Like, oh yeah, this was at this house. This was like
right after you moved in,
6 or 8 years ago. So
okay.
Yeah.
So you'd been here a few years.
Yep. So, for our listeners, we have several different types of shows. We have core episodes where we go over, despite this intro that you've heard so far.
This show is not about kids walking in on you and your parents.
Let's roll these backwards.
Okay.
We have Beyond the Void shows, which is this show, as obvious with the initial story. Beyond the Void shows are where we let the business stuff take a backseat and we talk about some of the more social cues that are going on and we just bullshit a little bit. So that's this style of show, if you haven't picked that up by now. We also have some, and see, Dave's cracking a Mick Ultra.
I forgot my beer. For all of you out there, I'm an ultra drinker. These are Mitch's wives.
Those are my wife's beers. We've got some general business topic shows where we talk about just some general good business topics that you'd want to have. We have some guest episodes where we'll bring on guests that have either started their own company or guests that pertain to your successful start of your company. We have Q&A shows where if you have questions that you'd like answered, you can email those to askmitch@mitchsmedley.com, and we will get those questions and we'll answer them for you. And if your questions are good enough, we might even make a show about them. And then we have some core episode shows, and those core episode shows are episodes 1 through 9 on whatever platform you're listening on. Those episodes, the core episodes, go over 6 core areas of adversity that you are going to want to overcome if you expect to be successful with your business venture. So we've set it up in that way to where no matter where you're coming into this show, you don't have to listen to all of them if you don't want to, but you would do some good to go back and listen to episodes 1 through 9 and then jump back into right where we are now. So now that you understand the styles of shows that we have, this show today is a Beyond the Void show, as you may have guessed. With
more on Mitch's kid walking in on him and his wife.
Yeah. So,
I'm going to have some questions for Danielle after this show.
Well, you should.
Like, did she hit the floor hard?
No, I didn't shove her. Like, I was just gesturing, you deal with this.
I imagine a movie
plump. And
I imagine a movie where you just shove her completely out. She's like, boom.
No.
Oh,
no. I was more or less trying to hide my excitement, if you understand my drift. So, today's show, Beyond the Void, we are going to be talking about...
What are we talking about?
Well, the general overriding topic is the leaked draft opinion about Roe versus Wade and the conversations that the Supreme Court's having about it.
It's not going to be so much about abortion.
Gosh, no.
And the things that we stand on or against or whatever.
Right.
It's more about the insanity that has ensued.
Yeah.
And about what people think or don't think is going to happen and how the government on both sides tries to manipulate people into thinking this is going to happen or this is going to happen or these things are going to happen.
Right.
And the insanity that has ensued because of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Frankly, right? I mean, just in my personal humble opinion, I have a feeling I have your general idea of a sense on abortion, right?
Mine?
Yeah, yours.
Oh, you were saying that as a blanket statement.
Yeah,
okay.
Yours, right?
Okay.
But do I care? No.
No.
Right? That's like a personal thing that, for one, half of the people on this earth can't really even wager a real opinion on. Because
now just wait a damn minute. Because men can now be women.
Oh, true.
Okay.
Very true.
So if you're going to let men be women, now they can say whatever they want and have a valid opinion.
Right.
So you can't have your cake and eat it too. What the fuck do you want to do? Pick one and go with it.
I love where you went with that.
Okay?
I love it.
Well, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Literally, they're like, oh, no, men can be women. Oh, men can't say anything about abortion.
Men can't tell women what to do.
Okay, so which is it?
Yeah.
Which is it? Can I be a woman and say something about being a woman? Or can I be a woman and not say something about being a woman? Or can women just say...
Yeah.
There's 8 different things to talk about there.
In other words, they won't allow you a platform to be right on.
Exactly. That's exactly what I meant by that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's freaking insanity.
So, my overriding thoughts are on it. I'm not in that position. I'll never be in that position. So I'll never have to worry about it. Like the closest I'll ever be into that position is if my wife has to go through something and my role is to support her decision in that, whatever it may be.
Well, first off, you're wrong. You have 2 sons that are going to be in high school soon.
Right.
And it could be knocking at your doorstep sooner than you think.
It could be.
It could be.
But that's their decision, and they're the
Yeah, but when
closest thing. Now, I have to mentor them through that.
If your kid is under 18, it has now become your decision.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So, but I guess what I'm getting at.
Say neither one of them has any kind of issues. They grow up, they have families, and then something happens to your granddaughter.
Right.
Or your grandson.
But I guess where I'm getting at is that's such a case-by-case thing that it's wild to me that people take these crazy extreme stances on. Like they'll sever friendships over it. They'll polarize, like businesses will polarize their customer base over something like this.
Yeah.
It's on a one-to-one level. Like it's my thoughts on it shouldn't have any bearing on your thoughts on it. Your thoughts on it shouldn't have any bearing on mine. Like it's crazy to me that people go whole hog into this type of topic.
Yeah. What really drives me insane is they will literally say, so the Democratic Party came out and said, no, you should be able to have an abortion up to 9 months. Okay? And they say in that statement, everyone that's voted Democrat believes that. Half the country believes that. And then they bring out polls that say 80% of Americans believe that there should never be an abortion in the 3rd trimester, let alone 9 months. So literally right off the bat, the government is lying to you about what's going to happen. They say, oh, if they overturn it, then they're going to overturn gay marriage, and then they're going to overturn no interracial marriage, and it's going to be this snowball effect, and everyone on the planet is going to be impacted, and we just can't let these bad things happen. Those are all lies.
Yeah.
Those are all lies.
Yep.
First off, Roe v. Wade was an unconstitutional decision at the time.
Right.
Okay? And it took power away from the states to make any real laws.
Right.
And they had 50 years for Congress could have said, okay, let's sit down and let's figure out what these laws or rights could be and let's make a law about it. And they didn't fucking do it.
Right.
Okay? Why? Because that's not what people actually wanted.
Right.
Okay? People did not want there to be legal abortion into the 3rd trimester.
Right.
Okay? So they didn't make a law about it. No one, even back then, I know this is crazy for if you're a Democrat and you're listening to this, there used to be pro-life Democrats.
Yep.
And there used to be abortion Republicans that favored women's right to have abortion. Okay, and now there's been this knife divide, and everyone's on the left and everyone's on the right, and you have to be over here and you have to be over there, or you're not on the right side.
Right.
I mean, when did that happen?
Right.
For one.
Right.
Why does that happen? Is it media-based? Is it fear-mongering? I mean, I'm asking you, what is it that's pushed everybody to the extreme right or left of any situation?
The media.
I think so, too.
Well, I think it's the media, and I think it's the far left running farther to the left. It polarizes even the most centralized of people, right? We talked about that in a recent episode where you have a graphic where you've got a guy on the right and a guy on the left and a guy that's fairly centered. Well, if the guy on the left moves farther to the left,
he's just dragging.
But the guy in the center doesn't move, and the guy on the right doesn't move. Well, now the guy on the right seems more extreme right because he's farther away from the guy on the left, even though he didn't move.
Yeah.
And the guy in the middle is now right leaning.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't move in his values and his beliefs, right? Well, then the guy on the left moves even farther to the left, and so now the guy on the right is even more extreme right because he's farther away from the extreme left. And then the guy that was centered is now far right.
Yeah.
Even though his beliefs didn't change at all. Yeah. So as the left goes crazy far left, they use that as an opportunity to make you look more extreme in your beliefs, even if you're fairly centered in your beliefs.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead. Sorry.
the far left people running farther and farther and farther to the left are what are pushing that to the polarized, it's one side or the other and all of this stuff, because the gray area it's like a big gap that's widening in there.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say, Mitch?
I don't know.
I don't either. It'll come to me.
So what I think is really funny about the timing of all of this, never before in history has a draft opinion been leaked to the public while it was still in conversation amongst the Supreme Court, right? Yeah. Now, just because it's the first time in history doesn't make it all that crazy. However, when you add up all the timing of everything else that's happened in the nation over the last few years, and it's like, oh, we were trying to separate them on race, but they kind of figured that out a little bit, and BLM's kind of a sham. Oh, we were trying to separate them on COVID, and now they kind of figured that out a little bit, and now they realize that Dr. Fauci's a sham, right?
Yeah.
And then, oh, we tried to separate them on LGBTQ and
dash, square, plus,
whatever,
minus, F2.
Yeah. Character emoji, poop emoji. Like, what the hell? But, and then they realize, oh, we can even try to work that through Disney a little bit. And, oh, that's not even really working out. And so, like, basically, these are the puppet string pullers of our government. They're going, well, they're not fighting as much as we'd like them to fight. And a population of people that are fighting amongst each other are pretty easy to govern. So let's leak a document to make them fight about abortion again.
Yeah.
As if I'm going to change your mind on anything, and as if you're going to change my mind on anything, right?
Yeah.
It just creates the platform for everybody to go to their social media and state their stance on this. And, oh, well, I disagree with that. Well, okay. Well, I'm going to come to your Facebook page now and disagree with you on your own Facebook page about your stance on this thing. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're trying, they're literally intentionally trying to divide the nation.
Yeah. And they, one way they were doing that is, so even basically what, Roe v. Wade, when they overturn it, which hopefully happens, because let's be honest, that gives the states their individual right to make whatever laws they want for the states.
Yep.
Okay, and let's be clear here. Originally, there were states and no federal government, and the states made the federal government. Okay, we don't need the federal government, people.
Right.
We need state government.
Yeah.
Okay, that allows the people in those states to vote for what they want, and that legislation to pass the laws we want for that state. Right. That's all this does. This does not tell people, and that's another big lie, is they're like, oh, now there'll be no abortion ever.
Bullshit.
I read a study before we did the show last week, because we thought we were going to do the show last week, that it said they only think abortions will go down 13%.
Right.
By this being turned down.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally would like to see it go lower, but, I don't get to make the laws. I think that the state should get to make the laws because we have elected those officials in our state, and that's where we live. I think that's how everything should be done. That's how states are getting away with legalizing marijuana, because it's a state issue, and they're allowed to do it.
Yeah.
But what they've done is they've come out and they've said, to scare people, they've said, okay, so now there'll be no abortions. If you get raped, you can't get an abortion. If there's incest, you can't get an abortion. If your life's in danger, you can't get an abortion. They're just going to let you die. No, they're not.
No, not at all.
So all these really harsh, quote-unquote, extreme red states that have made these new laws, there are passages in those laws that already allow for if you're a rape victim, if there's incest, if your life is in danger at any moment, you get to choose if you want that baby to live or if you want to live.
Right.
Okay, and they've pushed this lie of, no, those red states are going to pull all that out of there. No, they're not.
No.
Because people have hearts.
Nobody in their rational mind would pull that out of there.
No, and they're not going to.
Right.
But you keep seeing these posts on Facebook. They're like, oh, it's going to go to this and it's going to go to that. No, it's not.
And that's because we like to use fear as the basis or like our guiding beacon for how we decide to do things, right? And so fear takes you to the worst case scenario, And then it puts you in a position where you're trying to make a decision on this thing about a worst case scenario possibility.
Yeah.
You know, it's very similar to like the food stamps or the SNAP program as they call it now, because apparently food stamps was like derogatory. So
You're on food stamps. It's
is-
helping you get over it.
yeah, it is what it is.
Use it as something to help you up.
Yeah, but it's like food stamps, right? There's a lot of people in the U.S. that need them. There's a few that take advantage of it. You don't abolish the entire program because a few take advantage of it. You try to amend those few, but you keep the program in place for the people that need it. Same with abortion. You don't eliminate abortions 100%. You're trying to carve out the people that are habitual offenders or consumers of abortion.
Yeah.
You're not trying to carve out the rape victims or the people that have a health reason or whatever the case may be, a medically necessary abortion.
Yeah.
So I had heard a study here recently, or it wasn't a study. I had heard somebody's opinion recently, and it got me thinking a lot. And they were pretty convinced that the whole creation for Planned Parenthood was to limit the population growth of the black community.
It's because the lady that started that is an extreme racist.
Okay, I'm
She is-
ignorant on this. Like
she actually-
I'm bringing it up as a talking point.
There are proven statements, things she said, things that she's done. She is a racist.
Okay,
And
is she
that's-
white or is she black? Like
She's white.
okay.
And everything that I've read has basically said, "Oh, she's a racist." And her whole deal was, and now listen, I'm not saying I think that that's what it really is.
Right.
That's just what I've read, and I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised because people are nuts.
Well, so the guy that I was hearing it from, I mean, he had some fairly logical points, right? Like you take the race with the majority of Planned Parenthood, like the majority of Planned Parenthood customers. I don't know what you want to call it, patients. Whatever.
Customers. It made my stomach turn.
Yeah.
It makes a lot to make my stomach turn.
So you take a majority of the Planned Parenthood patients are black.
Yeah.
So I mean, it stands to reason that if, for one, if that is the case, that's fucking sick.
It is
Like,
sick.
oh
and
my gosh.
First off, it is the majority are black women.
Yeah.
And you know what I hate is they just try to pin all right-leaning people as racists, okay? But now in this situation, we are trying to limit black abortions, and somehow we're still racist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. You want to allow more black women to kill their own children because you want black kids to die. I don't understand the logic behind all of it. Like we talked about at the beginning of the show, is I can be a woman now, so don't I get a vote also?
Right.
And it drives me insane. It doesn't drive me insane. It makes me really sad.
Yeah.
When I think about that stuff.
Yeah.
It makes me very sad.
Well, the sad part is it's that culture of never allowing somebody a victory, right? Never allowing somebody to be right. Never allowing somebody to have a correct opinion.
Yeah.
And so, and when you drive that wedge based off of extreme analogies under literally every hot topic out there, all it does is boil the pot.
Yeah.
So,
did you see that, they talk about, and this is just a little side tangent about something, they talk about being able to, so if you get raped, you're a young girl, you can have an abortion. Did you see that state Senate race in Pennsylvania? So it's Dr. Oz that Trump endorsed, somebody else, some millionaire dude that's got tons of money coming in, and then a lady that was, her mother was raped when she was 11.
Okay.
And they decided to keep the baby.
And
now that's this lady that's running for Senate, and she's kicking everyone's ass and has like no money and is just a product of the great American system. When you talk about great American system, you're raped at 11, decide to have the child, and there's enough support around that family and or community and all this other stuff that raised a child that's trying to be a senator in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Right. And then people just, they act like, oh, I've been born, America's just so awful. And give me a fucking break.
Right.
America's the greatest country on the planet. Let's try not to shit it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we should really be working on.
Right. So in my own family, my grandma and grandpa on my parents' my mom's side of the family, my mom's side of the family, my mom's mom and dad. He was in the military. She was always bouncing around from military base to military base. I mean, they spent time in Germany. They were like everywhere, right? So my mom grew up on all these military bases. Well, later on in life, my mom learned that her mom had been raped and chose to give the baby up for adoption.
Oh, really?
And this was when my mom was very young, not questioning the belly and, all of that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, little.
Yeah. So, and there were times where my mom wouldn't see her mom for longer periods of time and stuff like that. So, my mom actually reconnected with her
half-sister?
Half-brother.
Brother?
Yeah. And so somehow through all of the maybe Ancestry.com stuff, or I have no clue how that all worked, but she was able to find him and reconnect with him. And,
that's crazy.
And it's pretty wild because they look a lot alike. I mean, obviously.
Really?
Yeah, half there, but it's pretty neat. And
still an uncle for you.
I guess technically, yeah, it would be still an uncle.
Right, yeah.
Like a half uncle. But ironically, we're in Kansas City. He lives in St. Louis. He's only 4 hours away.
Fucking St. Louis.
It's pretty wild.
People in St. Louis are nuts.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just wild that they use that to the people that are using it to drive the wedge. They're not trying to push one way or the other. They're literally just trying to divide the country with it.
Yeah, to gain power on one side or the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's be honest, it's mostly the left trying to retain power.
Right.
Is what they're trying to do.
Right.
It's funny. I was listening to the radio today, and there is actually the Senate just had a vote on trying to nationalize rights for abortion before this comes out or whatever. I didn't know last fall there was a vote already in the House.
Right.
That passed in the House.
Well,
I don't think it was the same or exact or whatever, but I like how that wasn't all over the media.
Yeah.
That wasn't all over the radio. That wasn't all over everywhere.
They can't divide you on multiple subjects at once.
I know.
Right?
That's my point.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is it ironic timing that this document got leaked? Like, no, they realized, hey, there's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
There's not a big division thing right now, and people are kind of upset about the fact that inflation's over 8%, and they're seeing us. Before we mentioned it's just part of the rebound effect. It's not actually inflation, and now they're like, well, okay, it might be kind of here to stay.
Maybe these people are a little smarter than we think they are. Let's dream up some other bullshit we can divide them with.
Let's divide them with something else. Let's distract them with, maybe they won't notice that they're paying $4 a gallon for gas, and that's in Kansas City's got low gas prices, and we're at $4.
New York's like $6 or $6.05 or some crazy
Probably
shit.
even higher than that.
That's insanity. You can't afford to drive at that point.
Yeah.
You just can't afford to do it.
It's nuts.
It is nuts.
So yeah, they're taking all of that, okay, they're mad about this, and even the guys on the left are mad about high gas prices and blah blah blah. Well, let's get them divided again. Let's throw something out there, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised because again, they kind of just hit on these things in order. You're going to see some racially charged mass killing soon, right? And I'm not saying they plant one. I'm not saying that they do this on purpose, but they're going to take a tragedy
and spin
it as a racially motivated thing.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to see that. It's going to happen. We've got an election coming up in the fall. I can almost guarantee you're going to see that. It's just part of their playbook.
Yeah.
Right?
They always do stuff like that. So when this came out, it's been a week now. It's probably been a full week for us. I think they realized it wasn't gaining as much traction. Now there's people coming out, like there was I think she was a congresswoman. She literally said that, well, if women can't have abortions, then they may have to quit college. And they won't be able to make as much money, and they won't have as good of a life. Like, that's literally what she said.
Yeah.
And then she was like, and then she translated that into...
It's good to see you think so highly of women.
Yeah, and then she literally went on to say that, and that helps the economy because there are more people out there making more money. This is literally what she said. I heard it on Ben Shapiro's show today.
Oh my gosh.
He was playing the clips on there.
Right.
And I mean, I literally I thought, what the fuck is the matter with people that they literally try to take this and twist it into, well, they basically will use any excuse necessary to push their narrative,
right,
no matter what it is. And they literally spout the most racist, random, crazy bullshit that they can think of sometimes. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose.
Oh, hell yeah, they are.
If they're completely stupid, or I don't understand. And
if it works,
it's
do
crazy.
it. And so they realized like racism worked, right? It got enough of the public's view off of Trump to make him think that maybe he's a racist. What was it? The Proud Boys thing, right? Like nobody had ever even heard of Proud Boys before, but somehow they jumped on that bandwagon.
Now they have 20 members and they're going to take over the country.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, again, if it works, do it, right? So they're trying to divide him on that, or he's a womanizer or whatever for whatever activity he was. So they moved off of that, and now they jump on the racist thing. And even though Trump's out, they're still hanging on to, well, conservatives must be racist.
Yeah.
And so now any conservative stance, once they try to establish that just in general conservatives are racist, well, now any conservative opinion becomes racist.
Yeah, and that's what they try to push on everything.
Yeah. Oh, you're okay with women not killing their children? You must be racist. Like,
How does that even tie together?
Yeah.
And they will just finagle a bunch of words together and oh, you're a racist.
Yeah.
What?
And then you get a lot of public pressure from I had a customer the other day ask me, what are my thoughts on this whole Supreme Court thing with Roe versus Wade? There's a customer asking their plumber in their house. And I'm like, I don't think my thoughts matter that much. And she's like, well, surely they do. And I said, no, because my thoughts aren't going to change whatever they're going to do. Like, I didn't want to tell her.
You didn't want to get into an argument.
I didn't want to get into an argument with her, right?
Yeah.
And really, because, like, I have a very, like, this is one area where I'm like, you can think whatever you want. I'm going to think whatever I want. Like, I think it should be my choice to make that choice for me based off of the circumstances for me. And I think it should be your choice to make that choice for you based off of the circumstances for you, right?
Yeah.
Now, with all that said, that doesn't mean I think you should be going and getting knocked up two or three times, and like planning on that as like
as a scapegoat,
as like a
backup
proactive.
Plan? Oh man,
right?
Ouch.
Yeah. But I don't think I can make it I'm glad that stuff doesn't come out to public vote, because I don't know if I could make a public vote for something like that. I mean, that's such a case-by-case thing. It would have to be so clearly spelled out for me to even wager a vote on that.
It would never be a vote of allow them till they're 9 months, or it would never be something like that.
God, it couldn't be.
And that's why the states have to be allowed to make their own laws.
Right.
And all these people are like, well, I live in Missouri, and I'm never, if something happens, I could die. Illinois is 3 hours from here.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want my tax dollars going to pay for killing babies.
Right.
So the state I live in, I'm going to choose to be that way. And if it bothers you that much, move the fuck out of the state.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, you can't just tell people to move out of the state. Well,
Bullshit, you can.
People in California and New York are fucking leaving. You know why? Because they're tired of the fucking state.
Right.
And they're packing up and moving, and they want to go somewhere else.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And listen, if you got to go 3 hours because you think your life's in danger and it's that important, 3 hours isn't a big deal.
How many cancer patients travel to MD Anderson in Houston every fucking day for cancer treatments?
Yeah.
Right? It's a life or death scenario.
Yeah. And you know what it does is, they try to twist it as, well, if it's a federal, then every state's equal and blah, 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 and this and that. Why don't you try to think of it as, If it's not, and the states can decide, it's like having the laws of two different countries under the same umbrella, which gives you more options as a citizen.
Right.
And maybe pull your fat head out of your fucking ass and think about something for 2 minutes before you go on Facebook and just obliterate everybody about everything.
Right.
And just put yourself into a hole somewhere.
Yeah. You'll
Have
never
some out of the box thinking.
You'll never see me spout an opinion on Roe versus Wade on Facebook because there are so many fucking circumstances of where it, all of that stuff, and outside of all that, you're not going to change anybody's mind.
No,
Like literally half the people, no matter what you say, whether if you're for it or you're against it or whatever, literally half of your friends are going to be like idiot, or the other half's going to be like more power to you.
yeah.
Like. Nobody's going to be like, oh, well, since you said it that way, I agree.
Yeah, no.
That's happened never.
So when it came out, one of I think we're both friends with her. She put something on there that said, it literally said, I can't believe this is happening, .. I can't breathe. Like she was upset.
Yeah.
And all I put on there, I didn't put a stance, I didn't put anything. I just listed the facts of, hey, everyone needs to calm down. This is just, all this means is that the states get to vote on it and then make their own laws based on that, and that's it. There's no need for everyone to be panicked all the time about little things. And literally, like, the next post on there was some girl on there, oh, yeah, we need some man on here to calm us all down. And I put on there, I didn't say anything about calm. I didn't even say I was for or against it.
Right.
All I said was, this is the facts and this is all that it states.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, literally, people are losing their minds over the dumbest stuff. And they don't think about anything.
They don't want to be open-minded to learning more.
Because then they're wrong.
Right. They want to spout their opinion, and they want people to validate their opinion.
Yeah.
That's literally all they're doing when they post that crap on social media is validation. They're searching for validation hardcore.
Yeah.
So even like you see it all the time with the pity stuff too, like it's kind of a touchy subject, but like depression. You'll see people that will vaguely discuss the fact that they're depressed. And they won't. It's not like I'm depressed. Anything else. They're like, oh, fuck my life. Oh, just when things can't get worse, this happens, and blah blah blah.
Looking for a pity vote.
They're looking for that pity reaction, that pity participation, right? And what they're hoping for is like they make that post, and then they'll like watch it and see who reacts and how much reaction it gets and everything else. And it validates to them that, okay, this is normal. Okay, I'm okay, right? And keeping in mind, most likely the scenario that they're bitching about is probably one they created for themselves.
Yeah.
But they're giving themselves the excuse of, it's okay, because 15 people reacted to it, and they're feeling sorry for me or whatever. And chances are most people are like, yeah, I don't want to sound cold shoulder, so I'll throw that a like, but that's your own fucking fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't quite understand the whole bitching on social media thing.
No, it drives me insane.
It just doesn't. There's zero productivity that comes out of griping on social media.
Yeah.
So
and only a couple people, like I posted that on there, and then someone else said something, and then someone else said something, and I said another thing, like just explaining the facts and stuff, and then no one else put anything on there.
Yeah.
So either Facebook took it down, or maybe people realized, you know what?
Well,
maybe there's a little more truth here. Maybe I should do some research.
You ever notice on
what's going
Facebook?
on.
Like Facebook baits you all the time. They will bait you all the time. They'll put they'll give you a notification. Like my Facebook started doing this a ton. They will put a notification in my notifications that somebody who I'm friends with commented on somebody who I have no clue who they are's post. And it'll show me, like if I click on the notification, it'll take me straight to their comment. Well, guess what happens? Every time I do that,
yeah,
it's literally it's a divisive post with a divisive comment.
Yeah.
They're literally
To spur reactions.
Yeah, they're baiting you into getting into that, right?
Yeah.
So
they're trolling you.
Literally every time, for the first few, I would click on the notification and I'm like, why the fuck am I even being notified of this, right? Well, then there's an option where you can say, remove notifications from activity from so-and-so. Well, yeah, I don't care. I don't need to see a notification that one of my several hundreds of friends commented on somebody else's post. Like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But, so they do it that way. The other way that they do it is as you're scrolling through your news feed, you'll see some comments of your friends. I see this all the time. I will make a comment on somebody's posts, and my friends who aren't friends with this person I commented on, this happened literally today.
Post stuff on it.
Yeah, we have a viewer of the Void, and they follow the Void, and they listen to our podcast, and I've become friends with them on Facebook. They were asking for a little while ago. They were asking for some input on coming up with a logo, and so I said, they had a couple options. I said, hey, I like this one. It's nice and clean and clear, and it looks good and memorable. Like it's good. Well, I can't remember if they ended up picking the one that I liked or not. But now I follow their page on Facebook, and so now they're like wanting to hire somebody, and so it has their logo on there and everything else. Well, it's like an ad, like a we want to find a new employee ad. Well, I made a comment on it, and I said, great logo, nice and clear, crisp and clear, easy, memorable, right? We're on the job today, and one of my other plumbers, like we're taking a break. We had just got done backfilling. We're kind of sitting out in the shade, chilling. One of my other plumbers was scrolling through Facebook, and it comes across his news feed that Mitch Smedley commented on this post. And he's like, why am I even seeing this?
Yeah.
Well, Facebook's
clickbait, baby.
Yeah, Facebook's baiting you into that. Like, and this one wasn't divisive. I mean, I was encouraging the guy and congratulating him, right? But Facebook does that all the time. How do you think they pick which comment to show you?
That's a good question.
Right.
Is it an algorithm?
Well, hell yeah, it is. And if you're spouting off truth and fact and ration,
it ain't that one.
They ain't gonna show that one. Right?
What if you started so at the very first line is just 100% lie, and you don't know anything about it, don't care. It's just all it is a bunch of crazy ass talk, and then there's two spaces, and then okay, this is what I actually think.
Your post would not be viewed by very much at all.
You don't think?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about that on the show. I can make a post like here just recently. Last week was the first week of the month. For those that don't know, we dedicate the first business day of each month to taking care of members in the community who can't afford plumbing repairs. We put them up on our schedule. We take care of those repairs free of charge. It's my favorite day of the month. It's fucking awesome. And it's a big risk in business to do that, but we take it every month, and we wouldn't know a month without it because that's what we always do. So we do that on Monday. Monday was the first business day of the month. You're literally starting in the hole when you do that because my guys still get paid. I still have material to buy. I still have fuel for the trucks. I still have all of my expenses, only we're not seeing revenue on that day, right? Tuesday.
Tax write-off.
Yeah, I mean...
Once you get so big, you got to keep track of that stuff.
Yeah, in a roundabout way.
That's the only business that I'm saying about this show.
But literally the very next day, we start on a sewer repair job for a house flipper. And we don't like working with a lot of house flippers, but...
No, because they want everything cheap.
They want everything cheap. They want it yesterday, and even when you give it to them cheap, they still want to bitch about the bill, right? So on Tuesday, literally the day after our Family First, we call that program Family First. And so the day after Family First Day, we start the sewer repair. This house flipper had a collapsed sewer line. We know nothing other than it's collapsed at this point. We run a camera down the line, nothing goes past it. It is completely collapsed. It's like 5-6 feet from the road. So we told them, we don't know the condition of your line after this. It could be damaged under the road, and we don't know it. So we're going to dig this up and fix it for this amount of money, but we might discover that there's more damage. And at that point, you're going to have more repairs. And they say, okay. So we give them a price. We dig it up. We open it up. It ain't draining. We run our augers. My auger gets stuck in the mud. Okay, that's a problem,
Yeah.
right? So we run our cameras. Camera only goes like under the road. Like it goes like 7-8 feet in. Won't go any farther. We bring in a jetting truck. It shoots high pressure water down the drain line to try to blast out all the debris in there. Jetter goes 9 feet in and gets stuck and ripped their hose in half, which means that the line is collapsed under the road and the sharp clay tile pipe cut their hose. Okay? So we go back to our house flipper customer and we tell him, hey, this is collapsed. And we kind of warned you that it might be, like we didn't know. They took the opportunity to royally fuck us over. They tried acting like we didn't do what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to do a spot repair and get their sewer back in service. And because our spot repair wasn't going to get their sewer back in service, they took that extreme left liberal approach of we're going to twist words around and say, well, you didn't do what you were supposed to, so we're going to kick you off the job. And then they said, well, because we kicked you off the job and kind of fired you off the job, we don't have to pay you.
Nope. That ain't how that works, dog.
Right. So thankfully, we have everything nice and documented and all of that stuff. However, it does bring to reason that they know exactly what they're doing and they know exactly what costs it takes to go to court. And so they know that they can short the bill enough to find where you find the sweet balance between what am I willing to accept versus how much am I willing to concede to not have to deal with court and all of this bullshit. And she's flat out telling us this.
Yeah.
In our face. If this were to go to court, how much do you think you would get? So what I'm offering you is a little bit better than that.
If someone says that to me, I instantly think I will spend whatever the fuck I have to make my point.
Right. So literally the day...
I'm not rational. When stuff like that happens, I'm completely irrational. I'm like, okay.
I damn near backed a cement truck up to the hole that we dug and just filled the whole damn thing full of cement. But so literally the day after we donate the day to the community, we get fucked out of about $5,000 from this dirtbag house flipper. And then she had the balls to give me our first and only ever 1-star review we've ever had. We have 390 Google reviews. We have 387 5-star reviews. We have 2 4-star reviews. And now this douchebag comes in with a 1-star review. And initially I thought about trying to get it removed.
You should have.
Right? And then I thought, nah, I'm just going to reply honestly. So I made a reply. I said, hey, I would have to say our experience with you was also 1-star worthy, and I named the company that we were working for.
Yeah.
And I said, however, we have found that the experience goes a lot better if you pay your bills, but you probably wouldn't know anything about that. So I'm just leaving it on there, right?
Yeah.
It's honest, it's fair, it's everything. But those types of experiences where people have the ability to come in and try to twist words and twist fact to try to get their way, they know exactly what they're doing the entire time.
Yeah.
The entire time they know exactly what they're doing. So, to get back to where we started, I made a social media post about this, right? And I just said, summarizing our week about how we started off with Family First, which was great. We take care of the community. And then we wrapped up the week by getting fucked by a contractor. And we're going to take the high road. We had a massive, I found that when we do these Family First deals, the bigger we make the day of Family First, the more work we do for the community, the more success we see later in the month through the business. And so I'm like, I have no doubt we're going to see some really great success. We had a massive Family First day and, whatever. And so I make this post. That post has 90 freaking reactions on it.
Yeah.
People like that shit, right?
Yeah.
I can go make another post that's got really good and great information that will change somebody's life.
Get 5.
And you get 5.
Yeah.
Right? And it's because Facebook's choosing what they're allowing your listeners.
They're trying to spit that drama. They want that drama out there to spur more drama, which spurs more people to look at it, which makes them more money in the long run.
Yeah.
If that's not business manipulation, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be illegal. I mean,
Well,
it's a gray area,
there
right?
there you get into the whole user thing. Like, you signed up for it.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't mean that. Okay, so it's not illegal, but it's shady. I mean,
Can you imagine a social media world where there were zero algorithms, where you saw everything in real time?
I'm hoping that's what Mr. Musk does.
That'd be pretty cool.
Like,
Can you
he just
imagine
is like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. You put your stuff on there, and that's it.
if you saw everything in real time and literally everything your friends posted? I mean, I've got like a lot of Facebook friends. I only see shit from like 50 of them.
Yeah,
Right?
it's bad. I see ads, group ads, stuff that they're pushing towards me, and then like, so I'll have to sit there and go through. If I sat down and went through it for an hour, I might actually see what my friends did for the last day.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's
Right.
like, what the fuck?
Can you imagine how endless your news feed would be if you saw every single post of every single friend of yours on Facebook?
You know what? I'd like that if I could not see ads and all that other stuff, because when you first sign up, so I had to make a new one. So I got locked out of mine.
Right.
Literally, I couldn't remember what my password was. I hadn't been on there in a long time. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to get back on there and see what's going on, what people are saying and stuff. Couldn't get on there. Well, they locked me out of it.
Right.
So like a week goes by, locked out. 2 weeks, locked out. 3 weeks, locked out. 4 weeks. I'm like, you know what, I'm just making a new one. So I make a new one, and literally I invite, all my other friends, say, hey, I can't get into my other one, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then like 3 days later, they unlock my old one.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But literally for the first 2 or 3 months, that's all I saw was like just my friend, because there was no algorithm built on my new platform.
Right. They didn't know how to advertise to you.
But now it's like I can't even go on it.
Right.
If I want to go on there and see what people have done, I have to go to that individual and click on their deal and to see what actually is going on.
Right.
Like, my wife posts stuff on there all the time. I haven't seen a post from her in like 2 months.
Right.
It's almost become where you can't even use it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. They're controlling what you're thinking by simply showing you certain people's posts versus other posts.
Yeah.
So here's another thing that's crazy. Like, I'll go to tag my wife in a post. It's my fucking wife. Well, I'm friends with other Danielles. My wife's name's Danielle. I'm friends with other Danielles and other Daniels. Okay? I will start, I'll type at DAN or DANI.
What's she, like the 50th one down?
No, they only show you like 5 or 6. You can't scroll. Like, I have to start typing out her full fucking name. And it's like, really? I've never once tagged any of these other people.
Yeah.
But
they're trying to...
You're telling me you're so smart, but you can't actually make my wife pop up first.
They don't want you to. They want you to click on someone else
to create... They want you to accidentally tag somebody else.
Yeah, to create more... It's... Oh, man.
Yeah. They want me to make a post saying, God, look how hot my wife is, and accidentally tag some wrong Danielle in it.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
What?
Right. That happened to me just 2 weeks ago on Instagram. I got tagged in somebody's wedding. Such a beautiful wedding with Mitchell Smedley. And I'm like,
I wasn't there.
That's not me.
Yeah,
but
I wasn't
congrats, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
it's nuts, man. It's so dumb. It's just, it's dumb.
Yeah, and anybody that can't see the fact that, okay, things have died down with everything else. Nobody's scared of COVID anymore. Nobody's scared of the government shutting down your business. Everyone's numb to the fact that gas prices are through the fucking roof and that,
everyone
store
knows
shelves are empty.
Yeah, everyone knows Joe's an idiot. They're not even talking about it because everyone just knows he's a moron.
Right. So they're like, well, what do we got to do now? Well, let's inject something, right? Let's release a draft opinion that's never been done before.
Yeah.
Let's tell you what the Supreme Court's talking about. Like, can you imagine how much this shit the Supreme Court's talking about right now?
Oh, yeah.
That's unsealed, that's unleaked.
Yeah. 200 things. That they're meeting about.
Right. They could literally they could literally be having conversations on, is it good or is it not good if we consider COVID concentration camps in the future. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I have no doubt they're actually having that conversation. Not because I think they would or they wouldn't.
Because they need to have that conversation.
Because they need to have that conversation, right? Like, they need to know, they need to go into that prepared. Can you imagine the freaking outcry that would happen?
Oh, my God.
There's a lot of conversations the Supreme Court has.
Yeah. But this one's out there.
But this one's out there.
Yeah. I
Like,
know.
holy shit.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And you know what I've noticed too is in the last 3 or 4 days, so like Roe v. Wade stuff was all over it. And now it's like, now you're not seeing it as much.
Right.
Are they hiding it from me because they know that I'm this way instead of that
Unswayable?
way? Unswayable? Or are they realizing people aren't as divided as they want everyone to be, so they're just not even showing them to people so they can't react to them?
Yeah.
I mean, what are they doing?
Yeah. As we come around, we're still months out from the midterms, but as we come around to the midterm stuff, watch. You'll start seeing your social medias suggest posts to you. It'll be like oh, so and so commented on this. What do you think?
Yeah.
And it'll all be politically, and it'll all be divisive.
Yeah.
And they're literally baiting you into getting into an online argument.
Yeah.
Which
makes them more money.
To this day, I don't think anybody's ever won an online argument.
So if they do that, if it's politically motivated and they do that, isn't that electioneering? Is that the right word?
Huh.
Aren't they manipulating an election?
Are you considering that social media might have an impact on an election?
No, I'm saying that they do and that they are fucking with election results. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely they are.
It's freaking insanity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And to get back to, we've gone a little off topic here because we both hate social media. And them twisting words.
I love it and hate it. I love it for the purity of it. I love it for what it should be used for.
I like it. Yeah.
I hate how it's used by corporate.
Yeah. Like when I see someone that I haven't seen in a long time and they post, "Hey, my son's baseball team won their tournament." I'm like, "Oh, fuck yeah, man. Cool." Right. I love that part. You're right. But then I have to go through 8 other posts that are all either ads or bullshit or stuff they're trying to push on me.
Right.
And I hate that part. And I wish that we could get back to, just seeing your friend's stuff.
Well, this was 4 years ago, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. I was building a hot car and I was buying a lot of stuff off eBay. Okay. So I was getting a lot of suggested posts from eBay.
You shouldn't say I was building a hot car because that would be stolen.
No, building a fast car.
Okay, a hot rod.
Yeah, hot rod.
A hot car that I stole, replaced parts and the VIN number on, and then sold for cash.
No, I was buying a lot of performance parts off eBay, and so eBay was coming up in my advertising on Facebook all the time, right?
Yeah. Check out this on eBay. Check out this clutch. Check out this rebuilt transmission.
It's all this weird shit, right? So one time eBay posted up a photo, like you could buy a poster of a topless woman. And it showed the topless woman. And it was like from the 50s or the 60s. It was like a vintage topless portrait, right?
Yeah, like that you would put up in your garage. Like your shop.
Maybe.
Your hot rod shop.
This was even more tasteful than that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like art, right? Like, she's topless in the photo. And it's on my suggested feed.
Interesting.
I screenshot it and share it on my personal page. And I'm like, how wild is this? If I were to post a photo of a topless woman, I would probably get banned for 7 days.
Yeah.
eBay is suggesting, eBay's paying Facebook money.
Yeah.
And Facebook is pushing this my way.
Yeah.
Right? I got banned for 7 days for showing a screenshot. I literally got kicked off for 7 fucking days for showing a screenshot. So
they brought up.
That they put in my feed.
Yeah.
Right? And so I went through my 7-day ban. I took that exact same photo and I took 2 little fire emojis and put it over her nipples and put it right back up there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that right there tells you the bullshit. I just got 2 or 3 days ago. I don't remember when I was put on a semi-ban for a post I made 4 years ago. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. And I get a lot of notifications, and so this one kind of went down. Well, the nenext day, I get another notification from Facebook that says, "Oops, we made a mistake. Your privileges are back on," or whatever they tell you, you're unrestricted now.
Yeah.
And your post is viewable again. And so I click on it to find out, like, what post are they trying to pull me down for? It's a video. I shared a video that has millions and millions of views of these people. They hacked a gas station TV, and they basically convinced people to sing karaoke while pumping gas. It is one of the most pure, honest, amazing videos
love
ever.
it.
And you get these husbands and wives out there that the wife's like pumping gas, and she's like, "Oh no, he's the singer, honey, get out here," you know. And they're like doing a duet, and there's good, right? Like it is a good, wholesome video. And somehow Facebook tried banning me for that.
How stupid.
Like it is the weirdest bullshit ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they don't want wholesome.
No.
They don't. They want divisive.
Yeah.
They want you divided as divided as you can be.
Yeah.
So
hopefully the country gets their shit together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, step one is just recognizing that social media and that your mainstream media wants you divided. The moment you recognize that, you can change your mindset that you go into social media with, and it totally flips the script. So
I don't know how we got off. Yeah, that was like 2 shows rolled into one.
Well, maybe.
I like it.
I mean, it was kind of everything.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you liked what you heard today, if it taught you something, if it made you think about things in a different way, do us a favor and send a link to this show to a friend of yours. If anything, the story at the beginning of the show about getting busted by my kid, that's worth a share right there. Right? So
if you want to laugh for 5 minutes,
send it to a friend and say, just listen to the first 5 minutes. That's all you got to do. Right?
Yeah.
So,
old Mitch. You know what?
We're not alone in there.
We should start bringing up. Mitch has a lot of stories that are just only weird dudes come up with these stories, and I know a lot of them. Maybe we'll just have a Mitch story day.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
I'd be hilarious.
It'd be embarrassing.
It would be embarrassing. There's a lot of embarrassing stories.
Yeah.
I've got a few of my own, but
I've got another really funny one that we'll tell one time. It's about skinny dipping in a lake. So we got busted.
whoop.
So
Cold
guys,
out there, maybe.
That about wraps it up for this show. So again, we'll catch up with you next week.
All right, man. See ya.